Hello friends, today's topic is my dad tried to blank me. Let's rant.
Okay, I realized I haven't given you guys a story time in a while, so I thought I'd give you the story time on how my dad tried to kill me with a knife, and I ended up having to run out of the house, and I never looked back, ran away to somebody else's house, lived there until I graduated, which was a couple months later, and then he died a year after that. Story time. All right, so let me start from the beginning. My mom and my dad got together. She's a partier. She doesn't really get addicted to drugs, but she's addicted to male attention. So she can do drugs with men, and party and all this stuff and just like come off the drugs, no problem. She a G like that. Do what she do. The niggas that she fuck with, however, full-blown addicts. When she got with my dad, I think they met at a party. He had a full-blown coke and alcohol addiction at that point. They get together. If I had to do the calculations right, I think that they got pregnant at that party when they met, or she got pregnant within the couple weeks that they knew each other. She had already had my sister, which that's a whole different story about how she keeps bringing men around her children at very young ages. But so they get together. She finds out she's pregnant shortly after they get together. And then he's like, oh, if you have the kids, I'll get sober. This is the thing that I need in my life. And she says, sure. Like a dumbass. They get together. He's a lawyer, I think at the time, and don't quote me, this is what I've been told by my family, so I can only go off what I've been told, but he was one of two black lawyers in Georgetown that own their own law firm at that time, I think is how that went. Something like that. So he was a very prominent black lawyer. He did civil rights and entertainment law, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So he was mobbing around town with other black politicians and black lawyers and stuff like that. So they were all doing coke together. If you remember that time back in the 90s, if you know, if you know who got arrested back in DC around that time, remember that. Oh, that's not my child. So anyways, that's what they were doing. They was mobbing around town doing coke, bumping elbows with the black elite. And then he snorted all of that his money, basically, and everything he had worked for up his nose. Now, to mention this, my grandfather was a surgeon and my grandmother was a surgical nurse, his parents. So he always had money and went to nice schools. He had gotten to the point where he had done so much drugs that he had to start stealing from his clients, right? At this time, though, my mom had twins. She'd just given birth to us, had twins, had a toddler with my sister, and then his mom had dementia, so his mom was at the house and my mom was helping taking care of his mom, and while he was doing drugs, and she's also trying to keep him in line because he's losing his shit. Around this time that everything is all falling apart, the dementia, my dad and his addictions are spiraling out of control, he starts to do I think crack at that point, because it's money issues. Then my mom, dumb idea, goes out of town and leaves us with my dad, I think for a couple of days. I want to say a long weekend. And I don't know what happened, if she got mad and left the house, or she had a work trip, what the deal was. I forget what the story was behind that. But she left us in the house with him. And might I add you, I learned this story while sitting in an AA meeting with him. Remember that. So then he leaves us, she leaves us with him. He's so high that he gets high when she walks out the door, leaves us in our piss and shit, and doesn't feed us for them days that she's gone because he's so fucking high. By the time she gets back, we have to go to the hospital because we had rashes or really bad skin burns from the pneumonia, or ammonia, the ammonia in our urine, excuse me. I was like, I'm not saying that shit right. From the ammonia in our urine, had caused burns in our thighs, and we had to go to the hospital, me and my twin brother. Remember that. And so we basically been abused since we were toddlers. Around that time also, we had a nanny. The nanny had gotten caught bathing me and my twin brother in really hot water to the point where we also had to get, I think we had burns on our skin from that. And my mom noticed that it was extremely hot and we were screaming at the top of our lungs, I guess, when we were being bathed. So they had to fire the nanny. So it wasn't just my parents who were abusing us, it was other people as well. I don't know if there's a study done on why twins are abused more, but I think that that's actually a thing. Don't know. Anyways, move on. So then, because we live in a nice house also, I have to explain that. We had a nanny. We lived in a really nice house. We had multiple cars. Like, both of them were making money. And their parents had money as well. So then, cut to, all this time, all of this is happening. My dad is stealing money from his clients, out of their account, because he has access to their accounts. If you don't know what it is to be a lawyer, you have access to your clients' accounts. He steals their money to support his drug habit. And the FBI catches on to what's happening because somebody reports him. Of course they would. Why wouldn't they? And the FBI tapped our home phone, his office phone, and whatever else. And they basically got enough evidence to knock down the doors of his office, our home, and arrest him. He did go to jail. And I think eventually when we were toddlers, because obviously the case had to play out, we lost everything in the home and a lot of the cars because they had to the courts had to take that to sell it so they could give money back to the clients that he stole money from. Like, I forget what the word is for that. I can't think of it. But there's a specific word for that. And yeah, so we ended up living in that situation. And eventually my mom moved to another state, and then starts my story time of that other story about how my mom always used to cry because he would promise he would get his shit together. He got out of prison 3 months. And again, he only got 3 months on some shit that he should have gotten years for. If you knew how much money he stole, he should have got years for that shit. He only got a couple months. My thought is that he snitched on somebody. I cannot prove it because when you go to look up his records, I'm going to assume the records were sealed. His arrest records were sealed because he chose to snitch so he'd get less time. And I'm trying to figure out who snitched on. And I'm thinking it's a certain somebody. If you knew who was a politician at that time, black politicians, and who they were all mobbing around town and who was doing coke together back then, you would know. And then but I'm thinking about trying to figure out how to pull records from back then because of the Freedom of Information Act. I'm trying to figure that out. But I have a theory. He snitched on somebody so that he could get a shorter time. He only did 3 months, got out. And again, he went to Florida, which you're trying to run away from some shit. My mom, he swore up and down to my mom that he was going to get his shit together and get sober. He obviously had to get sober because he was being disbarred and he was trying to not get disbarred even though he had gotten out of prison. And they were like, nigga, we fucking disbarring your ass. Like, the fuck, nigga? All the shit that we got on you, we're disbarring you. Like, what are you talking about? So he got disbarred in all of the states. He was barred. He passed the bar in multiple states. And so he could practice in multiple states. So yeah, that was fucking crazy. And he got disbarred, never got his shit together in that aspect. He swore he got sober. I don't know how sober he really got. And yeah, my mom left, went to another state, and started that bullshit with my stepdad because my dad really broke her heart, but she should have never been with him because he was a red flag from the start, but she also was a red flag. So, you know, and then so cut to all that shit happened with my mom and my stepdad, and then he didn't pay child support the whole time we were growing up, so she eventually stopped letting us see him, and because he also had anger issues, so when we would see him, sometimes it would be great and fun, but then sometimes he would lose his patience and be like, I'm gonna beat your ass. It's like, whoa, nigga, hold on. You get us for a month, maybe couple weeks sometimes, and you getting mad because we're rowdy. You didn't even put enough work to be overstimulated. Calm the fuck down. Take that shit on the chin. So he would just really be out of control sometimes and really want to threaten you with violence first out the gate, and it's just be like, nigga, pipe down. You ain't shit. So then eventually when we were 14, we went to go live with him because my mom was on drugs with my stepdad. And then, all right, I got to give you the part 2. Sorry, I had to give you the backstory, but part 2, I'm posting right now.
Crazy story. What do you think about this? Comment down below and thank you for your time.